Welcome to part 2 of implementing universal design and accessibility into online courses. In part 1, we discussed a number of best practices for course design through a universal design for learning perspective. We'll do the same in part 2, but with more of an emphasis on accessibility issues. First of all, ensure that the documents used in your course are accessible to students with vision impairments and print disabilities, particularly blind students who use a device called a screen reader to speak the content of online material. Individuals with learning or reading disabilities, such as dyslexia, may also use similar technology to access online documents and web pages. If you use PDFs in your course, ensure that they are not image-only documents. An image-only PDF is, in a sense, a picture of text, and not true computer text. Screen reader users are completely locked out of these types of documents. You can determine if a PDF is image-only by trying to copy and paste text from the document. If you cannot select and paste text into a Word document, for example, then the PDF is probably image-only. Notice that when we attempt to select text in this image-only PDF, the highlight does not fall evenly around the text borders and does not highlight across the complete line. This indicates that this document does not contain true computer text. If we were to try to copy and paste text from this document into Word or Notepad, nothing would be pasted. This version of the PDF is composed of real text. Notice the difference in the way text is highlighted tightly around the lines of text and across the entire width of each line. Note that image-only PDFs, particularly those derived from second or third generation copies, are difficult for all users to read. For those with low vision who need to enlarge documents on the screen, these types of documents lose resolution as they are enlarged. Furthermore, students with vision who may want to use the Read Out Loud feature of Adobe Acrobat or Adobe Reader cannot do so from an image-only document. See the resources on this site for instructions on how to create accessible PDFs, including how to create accessible PDFs from Word documents. Use properly formatted headings to structure documents and web pages. Designate headings through styles in Word or markup in HTML or formatting tools in D2L. Properly structuring a page with headings provides important metadata to other computer technologies so that they understand the organization of the page. This includes providing navigation cues to blind users who use screen readers. It also provides a structure to format pages properly on different devices and window sizes. Furthermore, when a Word document with properly formatted headings is converted to a PDF document, the heading structure will transfer to the PDF, providing the same navigational cues and structure, facilitating the accessibility of the PDF. Note that the title of your document should be a heading 1. Section or page headings should be designated heading 2, and subheadings heading 3, and so on. The headings do and should form an outline to the page. In other words, what appears in heading 3 should be a subtopic of heading 2 above it, and so on. You can get a much better sense of how headings create an outline structure for your Word documents by selecting View and then Outline from the Word menu. From Outline View, we can obtain a much better sense of the hierarchy of the document created by headings. The title, Heading 1, is shown at the top level in the largest font, and the Heading 2 items, Objectives, and Instructions, are shown as subsections. These subsections are further divided and structured into bullet point and number lists respectively. One last tip, implied in the above discussion but not stated outright: do not select heading levels based on font size or appearance. This is a common sin among web developers and anyone formatting documents. It's easier to select a heading based on a desired font size or appearance. Instead, select the appropriate heading level as outlined above. Then change the font if it results in a font size that appears too large or too small.
The next recommendation is to avoid using all uppercase letters, in other words, all caps. Using all caps is detrimental to typographic readability and slows down reading speed, especially for long blocks of text. There is debate as to the exact cause. Some theorize that the more uniform outline of all cap words undermines word recognition. Others claim that we are just used to reading in mixed sentence case. Regardless, studies have consistently shown that all caps slows down reading speed, and that readers overwhelmingly prefer sentence case typography. Therefore, only use all caps for acronyms, abbreviations, or very short titles or headings.
Provide alternate text for images. For every non-text element, such as images, charts, or graphs, provide a concise, 100 characters or less, description of the information conveyed by the image. Screen reader users use this information to understand the information conveyed by the image.
This screencast shows the location of the tools and the process for entering alternate text in Word. To start, right-click on the image or use Control-mouse click if you are using a one-button mouse on the Mac. Select Format Picture and then Layout and Properties. Note that the alternate text is entered into the description area and not the title. Check this website for information on alternate text best practices, how to address complex images, and on the procedures for entering alternate text in D2L and other applications.
Provide sufficient color contrast between foreground and background elements. In addition, ensure that background design does not overwhelm or diminish legibility of foreground text in your PowerPoints and web pages. This screenshot shows a busy PowerPoint background that clearly overwhelms and interferes with reading of the foreground text. This next item is a screenshot from the news area of the CU Boulder homepage. Dark gray text on a light gray background is not an uncommon combination, which is hard to read because of its low color contrast. We see this color used on many of CU's More Info and Tab buttons. This next screencast is a demonstration of the color contrast analyzer developed by the Paciello Group and found at the URL displaying on the screen or by Googling Color Contrast Analyzer. This tool is an interactive one for checking particular color combinations and can be used for web pages, in Word, or with any software. With the eyedropper tool, we select the foreground and background colors. The results are displayed at the bottom of the tool for both standard size text, that is text up to around 18-point or 14-point bold font. Note that we are mostly concerned with the passing of AA standard. Check this website for other tools and methods for checking color contrast.
Our next recommendation also addresses the use of color. Do not convey information using color alone. Conveying information by color is an effective means for conveying information to many users. However, also provide a means aside from color for individuals who are blind or colorblind. The example shown here is that of a form where required fields are indicated both by the yellow coloring of the field and by an asterisk in the label.
Use descriptive hyperlink text. Use hyperlink text that makes sense on its own and describes the resource or destination of the hyperlink. For example, read more about course requirements or Chicago Style Manual online. Vague hyperlinks such as click here or more do not provide clear information for screen reader and screen enlargement users who may listen to or view hyperlinks out of context. Providing the full URL is also not recommended since the format is difficult to read and may not provide descriptive information. Caption videos and provide transcripts for audio-only material. CU Boulder has a system in place to caption videos for courses that have enrollment of deaf or hard of hearing students. However, it is recommended that instructors and departments work to caption their videos and provide transcripts proactively because of the benefits it provides to all students, as discussed in part 1 of this video, and because it avoids the scramble to adapt material within the short time that a student with captioning needs registers and the start of classes. Note that captioning and transcribing is a time-consuming process. Refer to the resources on this website for more information on procedures and tools to carry out this activity. A note of warning: do not rely on YouTube's automatic captions because the results are notoriously inaccurate. The recommendations and tips provided in this video are not meant to be exhaustive. We've tried to review the items we think are the most important and have discussed the accessibility issues that most often arise in the online environment. We recommend you also look through the accessibility checklist for online courses and consult other guides and resources on this website for more information on incorporating accessibility and universal design into your online classes.